Hello, Tim here from Stowhill Estates, Berkshire, and today I am with Roxy from Roxify. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much for joining us. So why don't we start by telling people a little bit about what it is you do, because your Instagram and social media handles are a bit of a clue, right?
Well, yes, indeed. Yes, so I'm a professional declutterer, which lots of people haven't heard of. Is it something you'd heard of before?
Only because I met you.
Yeah. So now you know what I do,
Yeah.
indeed. But it's still one of those things that's a bit unknown, I suppose. Like what is a declutterer? What does it mean? What do you do? Like my sons always say, oh, you just clean people's houses. And that's part of what I do, but that's not what I do.
For those of us that are a bit less well initiated, what does that entail? Like, because in our world, people move house a lot. They have to move out, they have to move in. We always tell people to ruthlessly declutter. It's the biggest value add they can do when they're moving. Indeed. Do you help on that side of things as well?
Yeah, I do actually, yeah. And the lovely thing about decluttering before you move, well, there's so many benefits, isn't there, as you will know. You're not paying to move the stuff. You're moving into a new home with actually just what you really, really want. Plus, when it comes to listing it, taking the photos, yeah, you're nodding.
It looks ready.
It does look ready to go. When people are opening the cupboards, they're not looking in the cupboards going, there's no space for my stuff. So when it's all organised, it's better all round.
Yeah.
I basically help people to get rid of the clutter in their homes, to reorganise their homes, come up with some storage solutions that actually really work. You know, I work with so many different people in so many walks of life, you know, lots of people that are going through some really, really big stuff. And they call me in normally because they've got to that point of complete and total overwhelm. And they just need someone to come in, help sort the clutter, help sort a wardrobe. I do whole houses before you move, after you move, you know, when people have lost somebody, parents that have died, you know, that someone wants to clear their house. So it's a real variety of people.
It's quite a broad church.
It is. It's really unusual. I wasn't expecting it to be that way, but I keep getting kind of additions, I suppose, as the years are going on, because I've done it for 5 years now.
Well, how did you get into it then?
Yeah, it's a bit random thing to get into. My background is kind of customer service, and I've done recruitment. I've done a bit of everything. I feel like I've had my fingers in all the pies. I've volunteered in lots of places, and I basically started my own PA company, just myself, for a year. And one of the clients I had said to me, you know, when you're in that lull period and I'm doing something, you're not very good at sitting still and you're like tidying, do you know you can do that as a job? And it sort of blew my mind. I said, no, you can't. She went, you can. I promise you can. She said, I just think that is your calling. And it just blew up from there.
So it was almost a meant to be scenario. Yeah. So that's quite organic.
Yeah, really, really. I didn't go searching for it. I didn't know it was a thing, but I've realised that I like organising. I was always that person at a party and still am. When there's a party and everyone doesn't want to tidy up, I'm there.
You're there putting all the plates and cups.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love just at the end, just making everything right. I think it just really helps with anxiety, particularly just to calm and have everything in order. I really like it.
Makes a mental note to invite Roxy to the party.
Yeah. Indeed.
So through the process, I mean, you're in people's houses all the time. It's quite a personal service.
Yeah.
There must be points where you've had difficult situations to manage, or it's been very sensitive, emotional situations for people, or equally, occasionally, sometimes just embarrassing because you know, who knows where you've dropped a pair of drawers.
Yes.
What's the weirdest situation you've come across in this role?
Oh gosh, many. I mean, when people come to me, it is like pulling off a plaster, I say. It's like opening the skeletons in your closet, isn't it, coming to me, because it's incredibly personal and I'm a complete and total stranger. And I always take on board with someone to just shed that embarrassment, shed that shame. I've seen plenty of things that I wouldn't ever repeat because they're very embarrassing to that person to suddenly come across something, particularly in the bedroom department, that they've forgotten they have or didn't know was there. And I just have a bit of a laugh about it. You know, it's just, and it doesn't matter to me if it's a tin of baked beans or a pair of knickers. It's just organising. And there's no embarrassment or shame.
But it is important not to get those two things confused. Just for everybody's, you know, don't inadvertently fill your knicker drawer with beans.
No, don't do that. But it is. I feel really. I do. It sounds maybe a bit. I don't know, a bit cringy maybe, but I do feel really honoured when people ask me to come help them, especially when, you know, I've got clients that are grieving, have lost their parents, have lost their partners, have lost their husbands. People are going through their own mental health issues, lots of things going on. When they call me in to help, I do feel a real sense of pleasure, excitement, I don't know what the word is really, just really honoured that they've asked me and they trust me to come in and help them.
That's really lovely.
And you do there's lots of tears in my job, there's lots of hugs, but there's lots of laughter as well. I think people don't realise actually that it can be fun.
Yeah.
And when I start this process, a lot of people are like, fun? Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm like, well, you'll be surprised actually. You do end up having a giggle and you get to know someone.
So look, we are approaching Christmas. Christmas decluttering and Christmas organisation must be quite a big thing because everyone's got stuff in the loft or in the understairs cupboard or things that they've hidden away, and it's unusual, I would say, for most people to have that structured. So is that a big thing that people ask you to help with, like after Christmas, January, New Year, New Me type stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think, like you say, when they go to get the Christmas decks, because they're normally at the back of the loft, which I would say is the sensible place to put them. But what they're doing is this whole kind of like Jumanji thing. Jumanji's like the film where you're like just trying to get through everything to get to the lights and your Christmas decks. It's just filled with stuff and I don't even know what's up there. And lofts particularly it's that dumping ground of stick it in the loft, stick it in the loft.
Forget it's there.
And forget it's there.
Yeah.
And I think toys, particularly at Christmas, is another thing that people really struggle with because they realise they can have this massive influx of toys and then they go, oh gosh, where are they actually going to go? And the ones my kids have already got, they don't play with. So there's loads of stuff on my Instagram and I'll certainly be sharing loads of stuff with some really good hints and tips over Christmas, particularly for, you know, busy families.
Amazing. And for anybody who is thinking, oh gosh, that sounds like me, they have an opportunity here to work with you as a very generous prize. So tell us a little bit about what you're offering.
Okay, so I'm offering 4 hours of me to come into someone's home to help them out. And also I'll do a charity shop run included in that. So as part of my service, I help to declutter and organise. I also help to sell things while I'm in people's homes as well. And they keep 100% of the money. I don't keep any because I am working in their home. And also just to look at the space they have and maybe suggest a way that can be better organised.
Love it. I actually have a little bit of a problem in my kitchen.
Okay.
And I'm sure I'm probably not alone in this. And Jules will very kindly say that it's her problem, but it's not, it's probably me. Cookbooks.
Yeah.
Everyone's got bookshelves or cookbook shelves or something where they've probably kept a load of stuff that they've accumulated over years. And actually I don't ever tend to kind of step back and pragmatically look at it and say, do I need that? When was the last time I used it? And I guess I'd love you to take a look at that for me while we're here.
Yeah, I will.
I've heard people say things before like, if you haven't used it in the last 12 months, you don't need it anymore. Is that a helpful way to think about things? What do you tend to advise?
Yes and no. And I think also saying it to yourself is very different, isn't it? Because you'll come up with an excuse. You'll say, well, no, I haven't used it in 12 months, to yourself, because I haven't had friends over for dinner that are vegetarian. And that's why I haven't used it. Whereas when I come in, I'm, of course, not judgmental because I don't know the last time you used it, Tim. You might have used it last week for your vegetarian friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it is very different when it's someone, one, that's not related to you. I have lots of people that phone me, they've tried to do it with their husband, particularly husband and wives. I feel like I'm like a marriage counsellor sometimes. Like, you're cheaper than marriage counselling, just to get things sorted. But also it's a case of the different questions I'll ask for different things. It's not really just a set of questions for every single thing. It's very different. But yeah, we should definitely go look at the cookbook.
Okay, so we are now in the aforementioned kitchen, and this is the shelf of cookbook doom that I mentioned. Yeah. So you've got some ideas about bookshelves and cookbook shelves.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about what you would recommend.
Okay, let me hit you with this, okay?
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get a new cookbook, you've seen something advertised or your friend's got a cookbook, you think, oh, that looks really good. Or you're looking to, expand your options on cooking. Get it from the library. Get it out of the library and you can hire it normally for about 4 to 6 weeks. And then you can use it to see actually if you like it or not. before you buy it. Because what happens with most cookbooks is people like 1 or 2 or 3 recipes out of it, or they change. So let's take the spice one. So I don't know the answer to this, but maybe 3 or 4 years ago, you liked spicy food. You're really into spicy food.
Yeah.
Are you now?
I mean, I still like spicy food, but I think the reason we got that because they were on. 𝗬𝗏 𝗪𝗏𝗧 was on MasterChef or something, or Bake Off or something like that, right? So it was one of those.
Yeah, so you were tempted by the name and thought, I like that chef,
Yeah.
I'll buy the book. And then maybe you've got the book and thought, actually, there's a few recipes I like from it. So another tip, so let's say you've got this cookbook, let's say you're still into spicy food, but actually there's only 2 or 3 recipes you like out of it. What I do is photocopy the recipes I like and I put it in a lever arch file. And then that is something I go back to more than I do cookbooks. The cookbooks I keep are ones that have at least 5 or 6 recipes in them that I am regularly doing. And it's about kind of reviewing what you like now. This is the same for everything in your home. So let's say you liked spicy food, and then all of a sudden now, 4 or 5 days later, you're like, actually, I don't really like spicy food anymore. I did, but I don't now. And books, not so much cookbooks, but books particularly are like layers of your life. They're like onions, I find, when you go through people's books.
Yeah.
They used to, I don't know, like biographies, but they don't anymore. And they were looking for some self-help, but they're not anymore. So it's all these things that you can get a really good read of a person by their books.
Interesting.
And cookbooks are a little bit like that, not so much as just general books. But it is sort of reviewing what you have and going, actually, do I still like spicy food? And if so, if there's only 2 or 3 recipes out there, photocopy it and then you can donate it.
Perfect. Well, let's have a go at attacking this.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to leave you to investigate some of the carnage, and then I'll be back in a minute to see how it's gone.
Okay.
Thanks. Roxy, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to seeing who wins the prize.
Me too.
And perhaps you can let me know how that experience goes as well. And of course, the great thing is, if they decide that they want to extend that time with you and find more help and assistance, that's an option too.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, look, stay tuned. We'll be doing the draw shortly. So thanks very much for joining us and catch up with you soon.